is here with a BooktubeAthon video challenge video yet again. This time we're doing story time, and I wasn't going to originally do this, but then I decided that I would love to talk about kind of a little bit of my experience as a queer reader growing up. Because I don't think I've talked about it in one video. I've kind of talked about it in bits and pieces on the channel, and let's just kind of see where this goes. I don't really know exactly which books I'm going to bring up yet. I'm just going to talk and edit it down so that I'm not talking forever. So we'll see how that goes. I think a good place to start is the Circle Magic book series. The Circle Magic book series was the series that got me into reading. I've said that multiple times on this channel. It was my Harry Potter. Like, I didn't get into Harry Potter. I still haven't gotten into Harry Potter in the level that other people have, even though I, of course, enjoy it. Circle Magic was my Harry Potter growing up. It was the series that made me want to write. It was a series that got me into reading. I thank my librarian, Mrs. Bright, so much for that, wherever she is right now. I thank her so much for that, for introducing me to that series. So it follows 4 very different kids who all find out that they have magic later in life. Most people are tested for magic when they're babies, when they're born. All 4 of these kids were tested, but there was no magic detected, and they all gained very specific types of magic later in life. One of the kids is a street rat, one is a royalty, one of them is a merchant's daughter, and one of them is from a class of traders, but they have been exiled from that group. And I've read this whole series. The first 4 books are kids, and then as the books go on, they get older and older and older. And the thing that the reason why I'm bringing up this series is because one of those 4 main characters is queer, and we find out in the later books. And I read the book The Will of the Emperors where we find that out in high school, and it was such a big moment for me. This character, who I've loved for years growing up as a kid, was queer like me, and I was still in the closet, and I was reading this character, and it was just such a big deal for me that this character from this book series that made me want to start writing. I was writing at that point, but I wasn't writing queer characters in my stories just in case anyone saw. You know, like that. But this book had a queer character in it this whole time. This character has known her sexuality for a while. This character had to have known for a while up to that point, you know, and just like that happening was such a big moment for me. So the other first that I want to mention, well, Circle Magic was the first series that got me into things, and it was really a big deal for me to have a queer character in that series. The first book that I read that had a gay character in it was during a Battle of the Books competition. We had to read 20 books and compete on them, and one of these books had a gay character in it. 2 gay characters in it. They were a couple, and it was a kind of a big deal for me. It was the realm of possibility to make David Levinson. The book starts off with Daniel and ends with Jed. Daniel and Jed are a couple. There's 20 perspectives, and there was a lot of other characters in here that I really related to. Daniel and Jed are gay, and there's also there's a gay female character in here as well who writes love songs to a girl that she's been pining after for years, but doesn't have the courage to say anything to. And Daniel and Jed, we were just so natural and normal with the relationships, and they had their things that they struggled with, but you could tell that they just really loved and cared for each other. And reading these characters was such a big deal for me. I still have the book. This is the one from the Battle of Books competition. I feel like, even though I was in the closet, I feel like the advisor that we had for that could definitely tell that this book was something that was a standout for me. And they also gave me another book by David Levinson, which has also been a very big book for me. And that book was Boy Meets Boy, also from my high school library. I really thank Ms. Shemin for letting me take these books because, like, I feel like they were so much needed for me at the time. This was such a big deal for me. Boy Meets Boy, showing a world where everyone's just very accepting, or like most people are very accepting of queer people, and it's so nice and so wonderful, and it was so much needed for the little closeted Chris who was afraid to come out and afraid of what people would think, and afraid of what people would do, or afraid of what my parents would think, or anything like that. It was so much fear then. So this book gave me hope. This book was a gateway, and then this book gave me so much hope when I needed it. And I didn't really have a way to go out and get queer books at the time. I would go to the library and read queer books there while I was in the library. It was find like a space where no one would see me and read them there because I couldn't buy them because my parents would see them. So these books were hidden for a very long time, actually. But I'm so happy that I have them. I'm so happy that I read them and kind of started off my journey. I feel like Boy Meets Boy, if I had not read that, I don't know if I'd be where I am now. I feel like it was the hope that this book gave me. I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to move away. I'm going to find myself, and I'm going to be all right. And I needed that book. I needed it so much. Okay, I'm going to go out of order. I want to talk about the book Hero by Perry Moore. Here's what Hero by Perry Moore did for me, and it was such a big deal. I love superheroes, anything superhero themed. For BooktubeAthon, I've read 3 superhero themed things that I'm going to talk about whenever I do my wrap up for this. But Hero was the first superhero book I read with a gay character. It's the main character, Tom, and it's a book about Tom hiding who he is from his father, hiding that he's gay, but then also hiding that he's a superhero. Because his father hates superheroes because of some things that happened in his past. And I didn't know the parallels and everything. It was just perfect. It worked. I loved that book. I want to reread that book. I really need to reread that book. And probably I'm going to cry all the way through it because the book never got the sequel that it should have had because Perry Moore died, unfortunately. And, oh man, it's such a good book. I love Perry Moore for what he did with that book. And just, I feel like that book opened up a world for me. Back to high school / college crush. High school, college crush. Deciding that, hey, I can definitely write characters. Like, I should not worry about my career as a writer in the future. I had already decided what college I was going to at this point. I knew where I was going for creative writing, and I knew I was going to want to be an author, and I was going to work towards that. No matter whatever else I was doing, I was going to keep working towards that. But I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get where I wanted to go writing queer characters. Even after reading all the Dave Leviton books that I had and all these other things, I had never really delved into writing a full story with a queer character until a certain point in college, in my college career. And after that point in my college career, all of my fiction pieces had queer characters as their main characters. And it was so liberating. And part of the reason I was able to do that was another book series that I had gotten pretty addicted to. I started reading the Percy Jackson series in high school. I loved the series. I was like, I love Greek mythology, I love Roman mythology, I like Egyptian mythology. I've been really into mythology for years, probably since 2nd grade. So finding that series in high school, a little late actually, was a very big deal for me. And then the character Nico was an even bigger deal for me. Nico's, what happens with him in Heroes of Olympus when you find out that his coming out and things like that, and eventually him actually having his own perspective in The Blood of Olympus, which I just pulled off my shelf right here, was amazing. You know, like just seeing this, even though he's a side character in this very major series, because I felt like Reward's books were just really popular and really like a major series at the time, and having that character there was a very big deal for me, and a series that I loved. It was a pretty big series. I love Nico D'Angelo. I was really happy with things that happened with Nico D'Angelo. I started my BookTube channel with this book. I started my BookTube channel after I read this book. I was looking up Blood of Olympus, and I saw some people talking about it on YouTube, and then I started my channel. So yeah, it's been a book. It's been a big series. The series has been a big part of my life. The series has been a big part of my life, and so that's why I still read Rick Riordan books and love them. And it definitely helped me want to continue writing things that I wanted to write. Out of a fraternity route. I didn't think I was going to pull this book off my shelf, but I am. This was one of the first books where I read about people's actual real-life experiences, and I feel like nonfiction, where you're following a lot of different queer people's experiences, I always find things that are relatable to their experiences. I was in a fraternity in college, and it was the first year that I joined the fraternity when I actually read this book. I don't know who gave it to me at this point, but I read this book, and I could definitely relate to a lot of their experiences. Some of the things they went through were way rougher than things that I felt like I'd gone through. And it just was one of those things that, I don't know, it just was really hit me. I remember, I still have the book. I really enjoyed the book. I really love seeing these different perspectives. It also changed the way I felt about some things, and the things that I did in college, and the way that I the type of activism that I got involved with definitely changed because of this book. All right, I have to talk about one more book, and it is another David Levithan book, and it has to be in this video. I have to talk about Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan. Two Boys Kissing is a book about two guys. I think their names are Henry and Craig, or I could be completely getting the main characters' names wrong, but they aren't a couple, but they used to be a couple, and they're trying to beat the world record for the longest kiss. The story follows several gay characters, and its voice, the narration is from the voices of gay men who have passed on in the past. So it's from dead gay men looking down at this new generation of queer kids and following these characters on this journey. And this book hit me so hard. And it has a character that I just really, really related to what they experienced, and I really relate to a lot of these characters in different ways, but I feel like the character that I've related to the most out of any book is Tariq. And Tariq experiences a gay bashing in this book. And reading through that, after experiencing something similar that I experienced in high school, it was a very big deal for me, because of the way that that experience affected me. And reading through Tariq's perspective and reading about how he hid himself and how he tried to make himself invisible and how the fear that he felt in that moment, and also the questioning of why me in that moment, was such a big deal for me and affected me so much. And I just related to his character in a lot of ways. Especially going forward, I feel like seeing the strength that he's able to get from this world record. The reason why he's so dedicated to his two friends trying to beat this world record, and why he needs it. And I feel like all these characters need it for some reason. They need these two boys to succeed. Even the characters who don't even know them need these two boys to succeed for some reason. Tariq's reason is just very, like, it's something he needs to kind of move forward, I think. He stays up the entire he stays awake the entire time that the two boys are going through the record. He's there for them. He's there to create a barricade from the people who are trying to stop it. He's there to reach out on social media and track it on social media to see what people are talking about. And he is there for them the entire time. And it is a big deal for him. And I felt like I understood why. So, yeah, Tariq's the side character. You don't see Tariq's perspective a lot in that book, but I feel like he's still the character that I've related to most out of anyone, that I've sympathized with the most, that I've been able to understand the most out of any book. And I'm very, very thankful for David Levithan for this book in general. I feel like it's just such a fantastic book. I'm very thankful for that character. Oh man, there's so many ums in this already, probably. I don't know. So yeah, it's just a book that I'm very thankful for. Alright, that's going to be it for story time with Chris for this one. I think it was kind of great to talk about my experiences like this. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I would love to know if you did one of these. I would love to go and check out your video. Let me know in the comments. You can also just tell me about your experience, one of your reading experiences in the comments, because I would love to hear your stories. And yeah, I hope you all have a good morning, evening, night, or whatever time it is as you're watching this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.